Um, there is a lot of buzz about mobile money transfers as being an important element of the mobile payments ecosystem, with both domestic and international transfers increasing rapidly. Our forecasting model suggests that the total gross transaction value of mobile money transfers will reach 148.5 billion by 2014 for a CAGR of 86.2%. This is lower than growth of the overall mobile payments market and lower estimates compared to other research companies that are out there. What, in your opinion, are some of the key drivers in emerging markets that is causing consumers to use mobile phones to make money transfers? In other words, do you think that we are lowballing money transfers in our forecast?
I am a believer that money transfers are going to be one of the largest areas of growth for mobile payments. And the reason for that is there is a significant amount of money that's being moved globally through migrant workers and through workers that move from rural villages to cities that are sending money back home informally through cash. And the problem with sending money through cash is that it's unsafe. You're assuming that when you hand over the money to that driver, it's actually going to make it, and that it's also quite slow. And in addition, it requires agents, like Western Union agents, MoneyGram agents, that may be actually quite expensive. Those same people who are moving the money may not have bank accounts. However, they may have mobile phones. So enabling them to transfer that cash and put that into an electronic format and move it using the phone as the channel for money movement is actually quite significant value proposition to these consumers. And in fact, knowing that that money has been moved instantly to the recipient is actually, again, a very, very high value proposition. And the overall global trend is there's increasing regional migrations happening and global migrations happening, and increasing amount of people in these emerging markets that are dependent on those remittances for survival. So this is an area of money flow that is not a nice to have, it's actually a critical to have. And mobile payments really unlocks the market demand in this case. On the side of what are potentially some constraints and challenges in this area, however, it's certainly not a slam dunk. So we have seen the Kenyan market for money transfers, and in fact, almost on a monthly basis, they're increasing their subscriber rate of usage for M-Pesa by almost consumers. So the latest numbers that I had were 10 million users. However, by the time this research comes out, I'm sure it's even higher. But having said that, it's not a slam dunk for all these other markets. And the reasons are there's some regulatory considerations. So each one of these countries is really grappling with, a lot of them are grappling for the first time with, what does electronic money transfer really mean? In the United States, we have statewide electronic money transfer licenses. A lot of these countries don't have that. And in fact, they also may not even have national ID systems. And there are significant regulations around know your customer, anti-money laundering, and combating of financing of that have to be adhered to in order to enable money transfers. So a lot of these countries are still figuring this out. And depending on which way they weigh in, it could mean that either the mobile operators can or cannot offer these services with or without a bank. And of course, the other side of it is enabling the electronic money to basically then be cashed out. So these emerging markets do not have, may not have ATM penetration or cards for people to withdraw funds. So these mobile operators and other entities are setting up agent networks, which are essentially human ATM systems. in order to withdraw the money on the emerging market side or the receiving side. Without having a significant network for agents, consumers are not going to adopt this because they're not going to be able to easily move the money back out into cash. So that's certainly a non-trivial consideration when looking at the overall trend of what's going to happen with mobile remittances.
Right. Excellent. Thank you. We'd like to focus a little bit on regional developments and deployments. In North America, what in your view are some of the exciting mobile payment developments here in North America?
So what we've seen so far is some traction occurring with Apple, of course with the iPhone and digital purchases over the iPhone, as well as PayPal is gaining some traction in this area as well. I think that the Purdue market is yet to be unlocked in this country. With the use of high-end smartphones, there's going to be an increase in use of digital purchases over the phone as well as ticketing, and I do think that using the ticketing of the phone is going to be quite interesting. Of course, there's various pilots going on in areas around the country. I would think that the really interesting areas for the U.S. are areas, again, that address cash as well. So be it figuring out how to use the mobile phone for parking meters or for transportation, public transportation, but also potentially addressing the unbanked population. So depending on the research reports that one reads, there might be anywhere between 70 million and 100 million unbanked to underbanked customers in the country, in the United States alone. And they may be an interesting target for mobile payments. They are not using a primary bank account and instead using places like Western Union and check cashing areas to conduct their financial business. Enabling them with a more convenient, safer method for conducting their financial transactions could be quite interesting.
Right. Excellent. Thank you. Western Europe, our usage surveys are showing significant traction in mobile NFC payments in Western Europe. In your opinion, what are some of the key factors affecting this take-up in that region?
So once again, I would say that public transportation and enabling mobile payments to replace cash or closed-loop systems that are dependent on cash and tickets is quite important, and so that's going to be a key area for unlocking NFC. In terms of the retail usage of NFC, it really is important to understand whether the merchants are going to upgrade from the chip and pin system with cards straight into NFC, or if they're going to be hesitant to do so since they just did the upgrade.
Right. Excellent. Thank you. Asia Pacific, the mobile payments market in the Asia Pacific is quite diverse and dynamic. In the little time that we have left, what are some of the exciting developments that you are working on in this market?
So Asia Pacific, of course, spans a very large geography and, in fact, very different dynamics from one market to the next. Of course, Japan and South Korea, significantly different from India, Bangladesh, and Pakistan. One of the markets that I've done some work in is Bangladesh, and I will say that it's similar to Pakistan and India, it has very significant unbanked population. And it is quite an interesting area because there's significant mobile penetration, very low banked penetration, and in fact, there's some interesting not only mobile operators in these markets, but also alternative financial institutions like MFIs. And these markets have significant money flows between rural and city, or vice versa, city to rural. This is an area that's going to, I believe, there's going to be a lot of focus on the Indian subcontinent, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and then also China in the coming years. And in fact, I think that we're going to see a lot of growth in mobile payments in this particular.
Excellent. Great. Thank you, Menekshe, for your excellent insights on this important and high-growth market.